Hey guys, this is Jukka from OG, aka Omnium Gatherum. You are listening to Brutally Delicious Podcast. Stay metal.
Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. What time is it over there? It's like dinner time?
No worries. It's 7 o'clock in the evening.
Oh, okay. So here it is right around noon. I guess you guys about 7 hours.
Yeah, there's about like 8 hours gap between.
Have you guys
7-8 hours? Yeah.
Have you started getting the winter yet or no?
I'm sorry?
Has it started to get cold there yet or no?
Just a bit, it's like a basic October, November.
Yeah, so just here too, sweatshirt. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Like a bit. It's kind of like if you think about it in the Celsius terms, it's like a couple of degrees above zero, like 5 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
So pretty cold.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Let's talk about Omnium Gatherum. First of all, I want to say I had a chance to see you guys, I think, on the last 70,000 tons, right? Back in, was it 19 or it was 20, right?
It was 20, yeah, just before the lockdown, yeah.
Yeah, that was the last time I saw shows, but I got to see you guys. I saw you, I think, at the ice rink. Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a really good show. I liked it. People had so much fun, and we had a blast. So what the hell?
Oh yeah, it's good because I don't get to see you guys that often, obviously, because you're mostly overseas. But so it was nice to be able to finally check. So let's get up to catch up to speed here. Now that Origins is complete, what was it like trying to put together a record in a climate so different from the way you had done it before with all this world nonsense going on?
Well, there are a couple of things actually. I think like if you look at it like positively, we had way much more time because we toured so much.
Sure.
So when there was no touring, we had like a really good time to do pre-production, which actually started like after we came back from our latest European tour in 2019, at the end of 2019, just before the lockdown, a couple of months before the lockdown. We started the pre-production then basically with Markus. He started to write some riffs here and there, and I started to build up the concept for the Origin album. At that time, still unnamed, well, it was kind of like easier but weird at the same time because we have used to be like to have a really tight schedule because of all the touring.
Right.
And now we have to maintain kind of like deadline for ourselves, just not to be carried away by the fact that we have so much time. So we did the songs kind of like we used to do, but like a little bit more of a stretch in that sense, like in like timetable wise. It was a weird experience in a way, but nothing so drastically different than before.
Was the writing content-wise different? Did you find it to be a lot more darker or more meaningful coming from the experience that we were all living through?
Well, I think like maybe subconsciously it might affect like a bit, but consciously I think it was just like we were enthusiastic about making new songs and new material in general. So that kind of positive vibe keeps that like gloominess and darkness away in that sense, because it's melodic death metal music, but we're happy to write it.
Yeah.
So there was no like big major difference. Maybe like unconsciously, like I said.
Do you find that writing this kind of music, do you find it cathartic? Like, do you find it helps you exercise your demons and get rid of all the shit that's in your head?
Well, yeah, it does. Back in the day when I was a bit younger, I used to think that it doesn't affect me at all. I could write any kind of music. In a sense, that is true, but that this kind of like aggressive music really does have cathartic,
yes,
like a backbone in itself, because there are studies that this kind of music can really relieve stress rather than build it up.
Yeah. And not just from their performers aspect of writing, but from a listener's perspective as well.
Yeah, definitely. I remember when I went Went to see Nevermore back in like maybe they were playing in Finland well many times, but the last time I saw them was like maybe back in 2006 or 5, like a long time ago. But still, I was super like content and happy to after that show, because it was such an amazing and aggressive show at the same time, and I felt like a certain kind of serenity in it, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah, and Worrell had a way of connecting with the crowd that was quite different than a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, he was amazing. Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace. I got to see him again. I saw him twice on 70,000 Tons of Metal. Just absolutely phenomenal. With his other band too as well.
Oh yeah,
Sanctuary.
They were kind of like maybe. Yeah. Sanctuary is real. I saw them like I saw Sanctuary back in 2015 because they were playing the same festival that we did in Canada.
Right. What are you guys planning on? Do you have any kind of tour dates yet, or is it kind of waiting for things to open, or what's the
Well, we have finished or like confirmed finish dates for the release of Origin, and we were supposed to go to a European tour with Insomnium like in the late November, but for their personal reasons, for a unfortunate situation, that got cancelled. But we have like a lot of dates for next spring. They are not official yet, so I cannot talk about them. But there are a lot of dates. So we are so anxious to get back on the road and see all of you guys. So of course.
What's it gonna feel like to get back on stage? And along with that, are you nervous at all after such a long break?
No, I'm not nervous at all. I'm only like super excited, because this is one of the main reasons I've kept going, doing this thing that I love so much is because of the live shows.
Right. It's going to be crazy, I imagine, because not only are you going to be excited, but the fans are going to be absolutely insane, right? Seeing
it's gonna be great, man.
I imagine the energy is going to be so off the chain.
Yeah, like even more than before. We've known like to be a really active live performers. Like in our shows, there's a lot of energy going on. We move around like little primates that we are, and but I think it's gonna be more intense, because we are so anxious to get back on stage and to live this thing that we've chosen to do.
Oh yeah. So let's go back to the record for a second. I've listened to it. I think it's phenomenal. And it's going to be hard for you to pick, I guess, because they're all your babies. But somewhere along the middle of this record, like I think it's Paragon, Reckoning, and Fortitude. Boy, it gets really good. Those songs are in a row, sequenced perfectly. That's some good stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Do you guys take a lot of time on the sequencing, like figuring out what goes where and how it works?
Yeah, we do. In that sense, we have a lot of like different kinds of like lineups in that sense for the songs. That how would this go together with this one? And a nice dog, man.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, he's everywhere I go.
Yeah, I have my cat over here. You can see him, but they're everywhere. But back to your question. Yeah, we do, because I think like. Or we all think that it's really important that there is this kind of like continuum within the album with the songs. It could be done like with random like this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes there, and we don't care. But that kind of like for my opinion at least, it kind of like spoils the drama. Like you have a certain kind of like a dramatic sequencing going on within the album. So yes, we do. We think about it a lot.
And I think that's kind of interesting, because in this new music culture we're in, everybody is dropping singles and not really caring about like a full length. But somewhere along the line, old school people like myself, and maybe you, but old school people, I like to listen to the full record, how you spent the time figuring out, what song goes where, and how the moods flow and the meanings flow and that sort of stuff. I think that's lost totally now.
Yeah, it is. I totally agree with you, because it gives one so much more perspective into the whole to the whole album and to the whole the career of the artist, like in a wider sense.
Yes,
and I think like I think like everything revolves. I think it's coming back, like maybe not in a couple of years, but I think it's the appreciation of the full length album is coming back eventually.
I hope so, because I know people like my son's age. He's 19. He just wants one song and move on, and he could care less. And I yell at him all the time. I'm like, you don't get it. Sit down and just listen. Listen to the whole side of the record the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah, but that's so, like those youngsters are so, they're like so used to living this fast-paced world, but with every force there's a counter force, and it's coming, so we don't have to worry about it. At least I would like to believe so, and I do.
I hope you're right. How do you go when you're writing your records? I'm bouncing around a little bit here, but sorry, I'm everywhere. When you're writing, do you intentionally try not to write the same record again, or is it difficult because you've got a bunch of records out? How do you stay true to Omnium Gatherum but different from the last record? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's kind of like a paradoxical thing in a sense, because you do have to have some kind of continuum,
right? Like
continuity between the records, because we are not Frank Zappa.
Right.
Well, of course, he also had his own method and own logic, but that's totally different. But, it's balancing on the ledge in a sense. We want to progress the music, make the music and the genre maybe in a wider perspective to move forward. But you cannot it cannot be all avant-garde that we're going to make like something super different now. Right. You have to have that kind of this kind of can you say it like a trademark?
Yeah.
Of your style of music, and I think that's only a positive thing, because within this melodic death metal, maybe a bit progressive genre, there is enough different kinds of things and atmospheres and material to get your feelings and to get to make your new songs.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like you said, there's a lot of people in the space, but yeah, there is quite a bit of space if you can carve out your little niche. Like, I think that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, death metal is kind of crowded. Melodic death metal is kind of crowded, but everybody's got a sort of little nuance that I think separates them.
Yeah.
What are you listening to these days? What's on your regular playlist? Anything new? Anything new?
Well, I just started to listen this kind of like modern dub, like this band called Chinese Man, which is it's not metal, but it's kind of like an underground thing. I also listen to a lot of classical music nowadays, just because of to strengthen my ear in a sense. And for the metal department, well, like I said, I never get tired of Nevermore. Right. I never get tired of Megadeth. I like the New Testament album is pretty good, and I was so surprised about New Sepultura album also, which I haven't listened to those guys in years, and now I just one day I was drinking some beer and I was like, now I'm gonna listen to their newer stuff, and I was like so pleasantly surprised that those guys are really, really doing their thing. They're not the youngsters anymore, even compared to me or you, man. So I was super glad for them that they are still going strong. And of course, old classics, newer metal, maybe. Well, Beyond Creation was one of those bands that I'm not super fan of technical death metal, but I really like some of their stuff. So that's maybe in the newer department of metal. I've been listening within maybe a year or two.
Right. I think lately, and this has nothing to do with Omnium Gatherum, sorry, but I think lately, even this year, maybe more specific, the metal releases are pretty stellar. There's some great stuff out this year. Yeah. I mean, besides Origin, I mean, I've been spinning Carcass, Torn Arteries like crazy. That's great.
Yeah. I haven't heard it yet, but I hear good things.
That's a really, really good record.
Fucking A.
And it's not that they kind of separated from that grindcore stuff and moved more towards, I dare say, you know, melodic death metal. It's not as grindcore. It's really good. And those guys are older too.
Yeah. But that's awesome that you can like people can understand the fact that, you know, just because a band's been around a lot of time does not mean that they're kind of like stagnant.
No, that's awesome, and it's hope for everyone. So, if fans want to find you guys, are you pretty active social wise?
Well, you know, I try to be like, you know, but I try to restrain myself for going to social media too much because, you know, of course you do. It's kind of like a drug, you know.
Yes.
It's just like pop in, pop out, and nothing. Like really, if you can look at your social media like status, like or your feed, like, you know, there's not so much that's happening. It's the algorithms doing their work, so it seems that something is happening. But I try to be, because I usually try to answer like people like are messaging me, like, you know, fans around the world, and I try to answer them, but sometimes I just don't have the time to do it, so which is quite understandable.
Oh yeah,
in a sense. And of course, if someone gets like and this is now like, I'm not like you know, I'm not pointing any fingers to any directions, but sometimes people can get a bit over enthusiastic in that sense, so I will like maybe do a couple of messages, but if I see the certain kind of like warning signs, then I will stop the conversation, and that's nothing personal. That's just me protecting myself.
It's tough because, I mean, it's a necessary evil now for myself as well with the show and everything else. I mean, with, you know, everything shut down, this is the only way you can connect, sort of. And so I find myself doing what you said, you know, being on way too long or trying, and then you get sidetracked. And I agree with you. It's a complete rabbit hole. But if fans want to get a hold of you, they could find you at Omnium Gatherum.
Yep.
Cool. And you said you're doing some Finnish shows. Can you see my dog again? Yep,
I did.
By the way, that's Loki.
All right, little rascal.
Yeah.
This is like, I can show you. This is Trix.
Oh, nice.
Hello.
he's
a youngster. He's 13 years old.
Oh wow. No, he's only 6 months old. He's a Great Dane. He's gonna be big.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you got some Finnish shows, and then you've got some stuff lined up, hopefully for next spring if everything breaks out.
Definitely.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you taking the time. I really do love the record. It's been on spin since I got it. Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much. All right, see you on the road.
Stay safe, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
Yep. You
Be
too,
well.
man.
Take care.
Right. Bye. Yeah, bye.